So today I'm going to be talking about the story of Zacchaeus. This is in Luke 19 of any Bible you have. And so I'm going to read it and then I'm going to talk about kind of what it means. So he entered Jericho and was passing through, and behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector, and he was rich. He was seeking to see who Jesus was, but on account of the crowd, he could not because he was small in stature. So basically what this first part is saying is Zacchaeus was kind of a social outcast for a few reasons. One of them was he was a tax collector. So tax collectors in the time of Jesus, they would collect taxes for the big nation at the time, which was Rome. And so Rome was pretty disliked by all the people who it conquered. These tax collectors, when they went to get taxes for Rome, they would collect the taxes, but they would also collect more for themselves so that they would pocket more money than they were supposed to collect. So that's why nobody liked them, because they would steal money from the people, and they were sometimes part of the culture, and they were originally part of the culture and good people. When they would steal stuff, it was almost like they were being traitors to their culture. The next part says, and he was also small in stature, meaning that he probably wasn't perceived as a very attractive person because of how small he was. And that probably made it more difficult to do things like that it would be normally easy to do because he was so short. To put that in the Bible means that's a pretty important detail. He ran on ahead and climbed up into the sycamore tree to see him, for he was about to pass that way. Verse 5 says, And when Jesus came to that place, he looked up to him and said, Zacchaeus, hurry and come down, for I must stay at your house today. So this kind of shows that Jesus was on a mission. When he was on earth, he wasn't just walking around just aimlessly. He was on a mission, and he knew exactly what he was doing. So the way that Jesus says, pretty directly, in the verse 5, it says, Zacchaeus, hurry and come down, for I must stay at your house today. It was just not even a question, it was a command. And so the response is good, verse 6. So he hurried and came down and received him joyfully. And when they saw it, they all grumbled. He has gone in to be the guest of a man who is a sinner. What this is kind of saying here is that Jesus didn't really... So Jesus can be compared to a doctor. And so Zacchaeus would be a sick man, and if you're a healthy person, you don't need a doctor. But Jesus knew that sick people were the ones who needed a doctor, and Zacchaeus was a sick person. He was very sinful, and so that's why he went over there to talk to Zacchaeus. And verse 8 says, And Zacchaeus stood and said to the Lord, Behold, Lord, the half of my goods I give to the poor, and if I have defrauded anyone of anything, I restore it fourfold. So, however Jesus, talked to him or whatever, it really changed him, because not only does he decide not to ever do that, ever do the sin again of stealing people's money as a tax collector, but he decides to give it all back, and more than that, he decides to give 4 times back what he owed them. Jesus' response is verse 9, And Jesus said to them, Today salvation has come to this house, since he is also a son of Abraham, for the Son of Man came to seek and save the lost. This verse, or this chapter, kind of just shows that Jesus is loving and caring, and he kind of flipped the culture on its top bottom, because he wasn't going to all the rich people and all the rulers and stuff like you would think he would do, but he is actually going to all the poor people and the outcast and all of them. And because they were the ones who needed the doctor, they were the ones who needed Jesus. And so that's basically all for this. And I just love this verse because it shows Jesus' love for us. Because every single one of us is sick. Every single one of us has sin. And every single one of us needs Jesus. And so, but when we get well and we're with Jesus, that doesn't mean that we leave him, because we'll always need a doctor. And Jesus will fulfill that role as a doctor in our lives. And so that's all I have today. Thanks for watching. Bye.